What's up, everyone? Picking up from where we left off last time, is there a critical mass of trash cards that allow you to play guys without the cloud breakers? Well, the answer's right in front of you. So if you have ever played Cloudbreaker guys before, you know that the biggest problem with it is you don't get rolling even if you found early tech traders, because you need to start running and using your Cloudbreakers in order to trigger Guy's ability and the tech traders. So what you really want are cards like Fall Guy and Street Peddler that fire off while you're setting up your board state. And Spy Camera helps with that so much. I mean, it doesn't have the best effect. Seeing the top card of R&D, it's very nice. If they don't ice up R&D, it could potentially get you a free agenda, but that's about it. But whereas Fall Guy and Street Peddler actively help you in setting up your board state. But what's more important is that there are 6 copies of it. You can play 6 of them in your deck. So suddenly you have so many Tech Trader and Guys triggers. Polop and Same Old Thing are in a different color because they cannot be triggered as easily as the other 3 cards. Same Old Thing can only be triggered when you have a Siphon or Legwork you want to recur, and Polop can only be installed when you've made a successful HQ run. So these are more later game cards, but for now, with 11 out of 45 cards in your deck that you can fire off at any time as soon as you draw them, I think that's a good way to start playing Guys and Tech Trader. Today I'm up against Blue Sun. This is a very bad matchup for me immediately because I do not have the deck space for D-res effects like Crescentus, even though it's such a good card in Guys. And yeah, this doesn't bode well for me. He gets a turn 1 oversight on Curtain Wall and is now able to ice up all 3 centrals to nullify my Desperado sec testing. Speaking of which, because I'm playing 6 spy cameras, I decided to release the influence that have been hogging up my R&D pressure slots, allowing me to run the standard powerful run-based economy engine of Desperado sec testing. Tech traders give you a lot of money, but if you really want prolonged economy, there's very little that beats Desperado sec testing, especially with lots of decks going horizontal nowadays. Getting 3 free credits a turn for a click is pretty amazing, so I'm not going to give up on that. Not to mention, they allows you to place a lot of pressure on remotes, like this remote right here. It's clearly not a Jackson, and he can't do anything about me getting 3 free credits off the remote. If he wants to have the remote, he needs to give me my sec testing money, and that's pretty important because right now I don't really have many things set up. My off-campus hasn't arrived yet. There's a Tech Trader and Street Peddler, but that's about it. So that's why I don't really want to use the Fall Guy until I get maybe at least 2 Tech Traders. That would be ideal. And oh, it is a Jackson. Very interesting. So I trash it. I do have the money to do it. Might as well. Yes, with his roaring start that he got, I'm now unable to get the Sneak Door off, which is a pity because he has enough money to res all the eyes on his centrals. But I'll continue placing pressure on his remote with the sec testing threat. He has to choose whether he wants to res the eyes here to stop me from sec test, and he does. Now, I would play the Sneak Door and Sneak Door him right here. Unfortunately, I know that the Archives Ice is almost certainly a Merumati, which he showed earlier, and that keeps me out. If he had 1 fewer credit, I would be installing Sneak Door here and going for 2 Sneak Doors. Now, Sneak Door is a very powerful criminal card and really should be played more often. It just doesn't fit in a lot of decks due to memory issues, and the fact that it doesn't do well if you don't run Desperado. But the fact that I'm running one of the best cards in game right now, in the criminal faction, which is Desperado, because I have the influence to run Desperado, I'm able to run Sneak Door as well. And because I'm using the Static Breaker suite, Kuroda, Zuki Master, and Mongoose, I do have the memory for a Sneak Door, so that works very well. Now, Chrysium hits HQ, which I don't really care about. As long as I can get in for the Sneak Door, all will be good. Problem is, haven't found my Kuroda yet. Gotta dig for that special order. Yeah, so basically this deck kind of does what Shapers do best, which is to remote lock. Once you're completely set up, it's very difficult to keep guys out of your scoring remotes. They can just cam your remote, and they don't even have to be pressured to run at all because they don't need to run until the spy camera shows something on top of R&D. In the meantime, they can just keep building up their board state and gaining lots of money off tech traders. So by now, I've caved in. I've installed 1 tech trader and used my Fall Guy to get me some money. This allows me to install the Kuroda so I can actually pressure Archives. He shows the second Jackson, and almost certainly they'll be sacked. So he'll shuffle cards back with Archives. I'm just gonna force him to do so right here with the sec testing, and I draw into Pollock. Well, that's a bit too late. Wish it came earlier. not very good. So I do have the second tech trader, which is good news, but I can't use the Pollock right now. Ditch the film critic. I hope he's not running mid seasons. He shouldn't be because he showed the data raven, which means he shouldn't have enough influence for mid seasons. Alright, so I keep drawing more spy cameras. I'm gonna keep spying on his deck. I see the root. Alright, I'm still gonna run. This is to pretend that it's an agenda on top of R&D. It's not. I just want to get my sec testing money. Force him to rest the curtain wall here, because if he keeps bouncing ice back to his hand, he's gonna lose tempo. And I want to keep ice rest as much as possible to continue placing the pressure and to make sure that I know what's on each server. So if there's a big agenda on top of R&D and I really like something like a government takeover, unlikely as it is, if there's a big agenda on top of R&D, I'll be willing to spend 11 credits to get past that curtain wall to steal it if the spy camera shows me that. So that's another good thing about spy camera. As I said, you don't need to run R&D until you find an agenda on top of it. Now here I make a big mistake. I know there's a route somewhere, but I don't challenge it. Instead, I'm just happy with getting my sec testing money and playing a couple cards from my hand. I play the sneak door here, he shows the raven, and I jack out. So that is kind of... I thought he would be agenda flooded by now, given that he hasn't pitched much to Jackson Howard, and he hasn't been scoring agendas. Unfortunately, the data raven's going to keep me squarely out of HQ. Alright, the root's a problem, let's go trash it. Since he's not protecting it, I'm going to get easy trash off it, but first he liberates the root credits to res his Christian Grid. Alright, good to know that that's there. And at this point, there's not much I can do. I really should be running his other remote right now, but I chose not to, instead installing another spy camera. And at this point, the spy cameras are doing what a fall guy normally would without tech traders. It draws me a card, it gains me 2 credits. That's pretty good. And it lets me see the top card of R&D, which is always nice. He continues with his remote shenanigans. This time, he gets the root off in an off the grid server. So now that I've seen the off the grid, I know what his deck is up to. He's playing Chrysium off the grid. And this is actually not... Yeah, the criminal matchup is one of the worst ones because of Sneak Door Beta. The fact that I run Sneak Door means that he has to focus his eyes on HQ. Split his eyes between HQ and Archives, which is why he double eyes Archives. You normally won't do that, even against Sneak Door, but a Chrysium off the grid deck completely relies on keeping HQ secure. So Sneak Door makes the game very difficult for the Corp. So I guess it's not that bad after all. Even though I have no way to de-res his curtain walls, at least I'm able to pressure HQ in a way that Shapers and Anarchs cannot. Alright, he reses Chrysium Grid here. I ran through. My intention here is to trash the Chrysium Grid. I get a free agenda while I'm at it. And I could, in theory, run through the Raven again and trash the off the grid. Unfortunately, I really don't want to get flatline here. I have to respect the fact that since he's running Raven, there's a good chance he has a couple of Scorched Earths in the deck as well, and I don't want to get hit by that. I don't have enough trashables on the board to protect me against a flatline, so I need to respect that. At least the Chrysium's out of the way, which means his off the grid is no longer secure. Just one good HQ run or Archives run will trash the off the grid, and that's pretty huge. If I am able to trash the off the grid, he cannot score agendas. I found my third tech trader, and this is where you start snowballing out of control. This fall guy here, one click to install that fall guy gives me 2 cards with off-campus apartment and 5 credits. I just gained 2 cards and 5 credits from that. Woof! So, at a time where the security testing Desperado combo is dead because his centrals are all too secure and his remote is inaccessible, I can still make a lot of money. This is something that Andy can't really do. Sure, you have KD Jones. KD Jones is very good, don't get me wrong. But Criminal Draw Engine is usually very weak. And Guise allows you to get money while drawing cards. Spy Camera is now a hyper proco. Every time you find a spy camera, you gain 1 card and 3 credits. That's insane. That is better than a proco. So yes, this allows you to snowball out of control, and this is why I'm able to keep afloat on credits even though I haven't been sec testing for days right now. So at the start of his turn, I'm going to sack the spy camera after sec testing an irrelevant server, R&D in this case, and that gains me 3 credits. and I draw a fall guy. This gains me 5 credits and 2 cards. Whew. Well, a lot of the cards are redundant. Multiple copies of Desperado, account siphons that I won't play. Maybe I should try to siphon him. Let's try the siphon right now. Poke around, see what kind of ice he has. And if the siphon is successful, he loses his off the grid. So let's do it. Win-win situation for me. He first reveals a Janus 1.0 that only cost me 6 to break with Fairy. Had I not installed a Fairy, had I kept the Mongoose on the table, that would have cost me a whopping 2, 4, 6, 8, 10? At least 10 credits. Yeah, so basically I trashed my Mongoose in favor of the Fairy, seeing that he's not running very many low strength sentries. So I'm planning to flip through my deck with Levy anyways, so I don't have to worry about running out of sentry breakers. At worst, I can find my Mongoose again with Levy. So, by siphoning his HQ, I was able to get rid of his off the grid and perform a successful siphon. So now the question begs the question: do I clear the tags, or do I attempt to trash the root? I attempt to trash the root. I float one tag and hope that he doesn't have double squashed. And the Polop was, I planned to use the Polop to trash his root. That didn't work out. He bounced the root, I forgot he could do that, and then proceeded to burn down my off-campus apartment. Whoops. Yep, kind of a mess up right there. I should have cleared both tags. I didn't really think that he could do that. That was a pretty smart move by him to bounce the root so that I won't get to use Polop. Because if I got to use Polop, I would have been able to trash it very cheaply for only 4 credits, and I would get a 3 credit rebate from Tech Trader. So now, I performed the Levy because I don't want to get Chronos Project locked out, but more importantly, because I want to find my 2 Tech Traders. He burned down both Tech Traders during the turn I was tagged, so I need to find them again to get my engine rolling again. In the meantime, he does find another off the grid to get back in the green, and he now proceeds to score agendas. I actually want him to score an agenda, by the way. The hive on HQ is really annoying. HQ is actually not that hard to get through as long as I'm willing to take the 1 brain damage. It's the hive that's proving to be very annoying. So here he scores the Oak Town, except that he doesn't. He leaves the Oak Town on the table, thinking that I can't get in. That is very, very arrogant of him. Against a criminal with Sneak Door, with no Christian on HQ. Surely I can find a way to get through. This is disrespect. He's not respecting my ability to get into HQ. With only 9 credits, there's very little can threaten short of a toll booth on Archives. I'm going to Sneak Door him. The Fairy breaks the Data Raven. I will take a tag, which I'll clear later on. And the Bailiff is very, very cheap gear check. That's not going to help him a lot. The off the grid gets trashed, and the Oak Town's now mine. Alright. So I get that. And I can still afford to clear the tag and still have the fall guy on the off-campus apartment. Again, I want to leave the fall guy on there for as long as possible. Delay it as long as possible until I find more tech traders. And here's the hostage coming to play. This is why I love hostage. You really want to get a critical mass of tech traders before you start firing off those fall guys, and hostage allows you to do that very quickly. I install yet another fall guy on the off-campus. All these clickless activities getting me a lot of cards. 1 click left. I wouldn't install a Street Peddler here because that draws me more cards. Instead, I played Special Order to get me another Fairy. So this Fairy is going to be very important. It allows me to threaten both HQ and Archives. I do not want him to play another off the grid and start scoring agendas with no way for me to contest HQ or Archives because I don't have a Sentry Breaker. Again, as I said, I'm happy with using my Fairies as soon as I draw them because I know I have a Mongoose once I clear my deck. So I continue installing lots of resources and bam, there's my Tech Trader. Alright, 3rd Tech Trader online, and funny enough, the peddler that drew me my Tech Trader has 3 spy cameras on it. There are 3 spy cameras on that peddler right now. So a lot of spy cameras are going to waste, but well, hopefully I should be able to see out this game pretty quickly. I'm rolling in credits now. Notice that I'm not really sec testing, but I'm still gaining a lot of credits. Tech traders are insane. Even though I've got them burned down, I've managed to reassemble them in a decent amount of time, thanks to hostages, thanks to the insane card draw of guys, and now they are on full steam ahead. Alright, My turn begins. I'm probably gonna sack the peddler here for a spy camera, and the spy camera will get me yet another card and credit. Nope, I'm not gonna do that yet. I'm gonna go straight for the legwork because he has a Jackson the remote, and he chose not to overdraw and pitch cards with Jackson. So there's a very good chance he's agenda flooded right now, and I'm gonna get through HQ. I'm gonna let him take one brain damage here. Hit me for one brain damage. I want to keep my fairy on the board for as long as possible. Then the other eyes are pretty trivial to break with high. Corroder, a bit expensive, but well, that's fine. I have a lot of trashables ready to fire, and I access a high risk investment that wins me the game. A corporate sales team, a government tech. Whoa, whoa. There are a lot of aspects about this guy's deck that I want to talk about, but time is running short, and I'll be doing more playthroughs with this deck anyway, so watch out for it in future videos. For now, I want to talk about the console choice. Desperado seems like an odd choice. I mean, it is a strong console, everyone knows that, but why play in Geist? There are other options available. Well, from my calculations this game, Desperado still gain a lot of money, and money is power, especially when it comes to breaking ice. A lot of problems with Criminal lie in their inability to get past all the big code gates of the day. Well, that is rather irrelevant if you're making a ton of credits, and you will be with Desperado and Sec Testing, which both netted me 14 extra credits this game. Forger comes in a close second because it synergizes with Tech Trader. The fact that you're siphoning the corp means that you will be clearing tags because you don't want any of your resources getting trashed, and the ability to sack Forger means that you're actually coming out ahead after clearing tags in terms of your credit level, which is pretty nice. Unfortunately, the link portion of it is irrelevant because I'm not running cloud breakers, and if you're trashing Forgers to clear tags, it means that the link to hold Zuki Master in place doesn't really matter. The biggest problem is that if you're trashing Forger, you're down to 4 memory. You cannot have all 3 breakers out with Sneak Door Beta, and that's kind of a downside that Desperado doesn't have. Desperado always gives that 1 memory, so Forger is just slightly better right there. Reflection is a new console that has just came out, and I've been pretty hyped up about it. It solves a lot of problems with criminal memory. Unfortunately, it doesn't fit in this deck because you don't really need the 5 memory plus the 2 link. That gives you effectively 6 memory if you're using Zuki Master, but I don't need the 6 memory slot. Also, you notice I didn't check out at all this game, so Reflection really doesn't come into play at all. If you recall the Democracy and Dogma data pack review that I did with Dio, you might remember that we talked about Spy Camera being a card that just activates Tech Trader and Guy's ability. Using it solely for that purpose is actually not that bad, looking at this game. Spy Camera carried me pretty far, and Theo was right about it. I didn't really use peeking the top card of R&D didn't really do much. Granted, I didn't see any agendas, but even if I did, the curtain wall would have just stopped me dead cold. More importantly, it allowed me to set up that much faster and gave me a lot of credits and cards while doing so. And that's pretty powerful. So don't underestimate it. Thanks for watching and happy net running. Goodbye.